You've tuned into Radio Northern Beaches. We live stream on rnb.org.au across the northern beaches of New South Wales, Australia and all over the world. You can also catch us local on 88.7 and 90.3 FM. Our podcasts are available at your convenience at rnb.org.au or rnbpodcast.com.au. So you and your friends don't miss any episodes. Don't forget to follow and share. Now here's our latest podcast.
Hello and welcome to Spin the Globe. I'm Caryn Shipp and this is Radio Northern Beaches. And joining me live in studio here is a dedicated member of the New South Wales State Emergency Service, here to talk about the vital role the SES play in managing emergencies. So welcome Jenny Parks from the Warringah Pittwater unit.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity.
Look, there's so much to know about the SES and what they do because, you do play that vital role. So can you tell us a bit about your role with New South Wales SES and how long you've been involved?
So my role, I'm one of 3 deputy unit commanders in my unit, and I'm also responsible for the public information. So that's the flow of information coming in from the public in our area when there is a storm event, or the information going out to the wider community. And that flow of information going out is most of the time. So it might be training, community engagement, messages about getting ready for storm, and during an event, it's advice about what to do and what is happening.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little later about that, about where you get your feeds from, Triple O or social media, but just hold that thought. What inspired you to join the SES? Was it a moment or an influence that sparked your interest?
I had always been interested in doing something a bit different, and I've always liked a little bit of adventure, a bit of adrenaline. About 22 years ago, I came up to an information night. My daughter was 18 months at the time. Wow. And back in the day, they used to work on pages for a week. And with an 18-month-old, I couldn't really meet the way things worked in those days. Once my kids were older and things were a bit different in my life, I went back and joined up, and we operate very differently these days.
Wow, so you had that taste with that talk that night.
Yes.
And do you personally respond to emergency call-outs? And if so, what type of incidents?
I do go out, but not so often. I tend to do more of the indoor work, so the operations side of things, trying to make sure that we have enough teams to respond to the jobs that have come in, making sure that the teams have had food, that we've got supplies like sandbags, that the teams know where they're going, phoning the residents and giving them any advice that can be done over the phone, and getting more information from the residents before the team arrive.
Where do you get those sandbags? I know we've got a lot of beaches around here.
We definitely don't take sand from the beach. That comes in trucks that's ordered in, and that comes through government supplies.
Oh, that's interesting. That's good to know. Look, how many members, both paid and volunteer, are part of SES at Warringah Pittwater?
So the structure of the service is that we're volunteers, and you only have paid staff who work out of the State Operations Centre in Wollongong, and then each region has their own smaller centre. So ours is called Metro, and they're based in Rhodes.
Yeah, Rhodes, I know that area well. And we often see the SES clearing trees or assisting during major storms, but what are some of the other important roles you play both locally and statewide?
Well, we're the designated combat agency for flood, storm and tsunami. Thankfully, we don't have too much practice on tsunami. We've had a couple of tsunamis since I've been a member.
I'm surprised.
But they're really like an inch of surge water, so we haven't had to go and do anything yet.
We never hear about them, and they never call them tsunamis on the news. So.
No, there was one a couple of years ago, and it was an inch, so it was great. We didn't have to do anything.
A little ripple there.
Yep.
Yeah, it came in. And in those scenarios, does the SES take the lead in operations.
Yes. So all the combat agencies have things that they're responsible for, and we're responsible for those three: flood, storm and tsunami.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in situations where police, fire and rescue are there and SES, they're all on the scene, who coordinates the response there? Do you take your lead from another agency?
So there's a common language. We all use something called AIMS, and within that, everyone has a similar structure and they understand the same terminology.
Yeah.
The police usually coordinate things.
Do they? Right.
And we can be responsible for issuing something like an evacuation order for a flood or a storm.
Yeah.
It very rarely happens, and then the police can be asked to enforce that order.
Yeah.
We prefer to do things through negotiation with people because you have better outcomes that way.
Yeah. Look, Northern Beaches is a beautiful part of the world, but I know we do have serious emergencies coming in with floods and fires even. What's the most challenging experience you faced while serving the SES?
So one for me would be in my training.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to be a boat operator, and I'll say now I have achieved that.
You've got your licence, have you?
I have got my boat operator licence, and I can go out in floodwater.
Good.
I haven't had the opportunity to practice it yet because I've only just done that a few months ago.
Yeah.
And one of the steps in training was I had to go out to Penrith to the Whitewater Rafting Centre and do a day's course in the very rough water out there.
Oh, it is. Jess did a lot of training there, our champion.
Yes, she did. And I had to build myself up for 2 years before I got myself on that course to do it, and I found it an extremely hard day, but I passed. I was very proud of myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Pardon me. Look, there are times of the year when the Northern Beaches is more vulnerable to emergencies, or is it an all-year concern?
Look, if you'd asked me that one 6-7 years ago, I would have said traditionally the winter was the quieter period and spring was the storm period.
Yeah.
That really hasn't applied to us for the last few years, and we have fairly constant severe weather events throughout the year these days.
Yeah, and Christmas Day is no exception, is it?
No, we pretty much always have a call out on Christmas Day.
Yeah, really appreciate the service you do, you guys. And just to clarify for our listeners, when people call 000, how does that information reach the SES? Do you respond to all emergency calls that come through that way?
Yeah, so 000 will contact through the computer system, the SES, and it will come straight through on the computer system that we happen to call Beacon. And then that goes directly to the unit. It has a different colouring on the computer system, which immediately indicates to the duty officer that that's a priority, has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said social media, so do you pick up occasional notifications of something that's come through social media?
No, we don't generally respond through social media. It's not what we call a source of truth, but it might be enough to alert us that there's something going on and start getting ready to respond to that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm speaking with Jenny Parks from our local Pittwater Warringah. Is it Warringah Pittwater unit of the SES? And Jenny's going to talk about protecting your home. You said you're going to put some hot tips together.
I do have some hot tips for you. If the most important thing that we ask people to do is clean their gutters on a regular basis.
Yes.
So if you don't want to get up on that roof yourself, great thing to do is employ somebody. But how do you know that they've done the work up on the roof?
I don't know. Without getting up there, I wouldn't.
So my hot tip there is get the tradie to go up on the roof, take a photo before they do any work.
Oh.
And then when they come down, take another photo of the work that they've done.
Yes.
And SMS it to your phone. That way you've got a record and you can see yourself what state your roof is in.
Because you'll end up, your flooding, it'll come through to your ceiling.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, water backing up from a gutter under the eaves is just terrible, incredibly expensive, and it's avoidable.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What else can you do?
When you're parking your car on a day like today, it's windy outside, have a look above. Does that tree that you're parking underneath have some dodgy-looking branches?
Yeah, or is it going to dump all their leaves on you?
No. Yeah, if it's dodgy, move somewhere else and maybe walk a bit further to where you're going.
I find that on windy days I don't like driving actually through the through the bushland. you just never know what's going to come at you. That's my nervous thing.
Yeah. And trimming back any branches that overhang your house. That will save you a lot of pain in the long run, because you haven't got to then deal with a hole in the roof because a branch came down and speared a hole into it.
Yeah, all good advice. So what should every household have in their emergency kit, and how often should we check and update it?
So if you've got an emergency kit and you have fresh water in there, you need to change that water every 6 months if it's stored in plastic bottles.
Yeah.
You also need a radio, because you want to listen to emergency warnings on ABC as the designated radio station for warnings. And so...
Good advice.
Yeah. I'm sure you put out emergency warnings when you're live as well.
Yes. Yeah, definitely do. Definitely do.
You need batteries for that radio, unless you've got a wind-up. You also really need some candles and some torches for your home, and matches, so keep them in a dry plastic bag within that tub. And then I would suggest putting in a folder that's got all your important information. So you've got things like next of kin, addresses for the vet, the doctor, because you might need to go and see them. Then your insurance documents, passport numbers, anything that's useful to be able to give to authorities if you cannot return to your home.
I had never thought of any of that, but maybe I'm not in a flood zone, but that's very good advice, people. Even if you lose a passport, you lose something, it's good to have information in a book handy.
Yep.
Definitely. So people underestimate flood water. Can you explain why the advice, if it's flooded, forget it, is so critical to follow? Is that what our advice is?
It is, absolutely.
Yes.
If it's flooded, forget it. Or we also say stop, turn around and find another way. That's a great one with the younger kids.
Yep.
And I use it all the time with the scouts when they come in to visit us. There's 2 reasons why you don't want to enter floodwater. One is that you don't know what condition the road surface is in under that water now. The water may have caused a big hole, and as you drive in, your wheel gets stuck and you can't get out. The other one is that it only takes 10 to 15 centimetres of water that's moving fast for your car to float and then move with that water.
Yeah, right. I saw a video the other day of a guy pulling out a tree from a bank in flooded water, walking across the road, and everybody in the cars were looking at him, or on the side of the road, and he put it in the middle of the road and it just sunk down into a hole.
Wow.
And all you could see is the top of the tree. So
he's just demonstrating that the road surface has been washed away.
It's got a real hole, a real hole in the middle of the road it was, so don't drive through it.
The other thing to remember on that is that if you willfully enter that floodwater, your car insurance may not insure you.
There's another point. All those people that, God forbid, they get washed away, there's no comeback.
Yeah, that's right. You drive in, your car conks out. They're all got electrics in them these days. Not every not every insurance company will insure you.
Oh, that's good advice there. So during a crisis, what are the best ways for people to stay informed? You said there are apps, websites, SES recommends, ABC. Is that the only thing?
Well, the ABC is actually the legal radio station and TV station for giving out emergency warnings. We've also got other sources of truth, so the New South Wales SES website.
Yep.
Hop on that one and that will always give you the current information warnings.
Yep.
You can also go to Hazards Near Me app, which is for flood and fire.
Yeah.
And you can put a watch zone, which is about 5 kilometres around your home, or you might make it for your work or wherever the kids are, and you will then get alerts within that area if an incident happens.
That's good. And what about pets and vulnerable family members? What can you do to prepare for emergency situations?
So if you think that you might need to evacuate, you'd need to look at whatever medications your family members and your pets might need to take. So I would suggest you get those ready in a box, maybe near the front door, not where any small children can get to them though.
Yeah.
You also would want to know you've got enough food and water for everybody. If you have to evacuate, you want to go to friends and family and you want to leave early.
Yes, and go higher ground.
Oh, well, if it's a tsunami, if it's a tsunami, yes, the messages definitely go in and go up. So
or
inland,
floods, even floods.
Yeah, floods are different because they will follow the layout of the land. Whereas a tsunami, you definitely want to be running walking carefully inland and up. So in 1 kilometre and up 10 metres is the general message.
That's a good message. Did anyone from your unit attend when Lismore floods were at their peak?
Not in the Lismore floods, but from my unit this year, we've had members who've been out for Tropical Cyclone Alfred.
Oh, yeah.
We've had members up in Taree and members go out for the Western flooding as well. So we've been pretty busy this year with deployments.
Yeah, there's been a lot of flooding in the west, even Central Australia.
That's right.
Lake Eyre is full. So it's all run down into the centre of Australia, their lowest point.
Yes.
Yep. Look, let's flip the lens back on you. How do you prepare yourself mentally and physically for those high-stress moments during a call-out, when the calls are coming in?
I have taken to putting my laptop on charge all the time at home, and with a phone charger and one of those little battery things so I can charge my phone up as well, and a variety of plugs, a notebook and pen, and sits on top of a grab bag so I can just walk out of the door and go. I did have a land search not so long ago where I worked as police liaison for the first time, and I wasn't as prepared as I will be in the future.
Oh, look, we learn, don't we? Live and learn from our lessons.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches. This is Caryn Shipp on Spin the Globe, and we've been listening with Jenny Parks from our local SES. Anyone that lives on the northern beaches would know about the strong winds that come in either from the sea or southwesterlies, and we haven't covered those tips, Jenny. So what advice would you have for people under the duress of strong winds around here? Yeah,
strong winds bring tree branches down, bring trees down. So there was a funny one a few weeks ago on Facebook on the Avalon page. A lady had posted that a trampoline had landed in her garden and had partially was in her swimming pool. And would anybody like their trampoline back? That's one that we always recommend. You take yourself to the hardware store, buy yourself some very big pegs, camping pegs, and pin that trampoline down.
Pin it down, exactly, with many pins.
That's right.
And what else? We were talking about hills hoists.
Yeah, hills hoist, it costs $400 or $500 for a new washing line.
Yeah.
Just fold it down.
Oh, yes, the fold-down ones, not the ones that are sitting in cement.
Oh, yeah, look, I've got one of those, and I just fold the arms down every time I go out because I have trees above my washing line, and I'm stingy. I don't want to spend another $500 on a new washing line.
No, who does? Who does? And wires, of course, the electricity.
Yeah, look, if you see wires that have got a tree branch on them or wires that are dangling down into the road or even worse, on the road, please stay 8 metres away from them. Don't let anyone touch those wires. Yeah. Electricity can kill.
And it arcs, doesn't it?
It does arc, and it's quite frightening to see. So first of all, call Ausgrid on 13 1365 and let them know that there are wires down.
Yes.
They will send a crew out. And when they're not busy, the crew will often clear the tree branches away. When they're really busy, they can't do it. So that's another time to call 132 500 and ask SES to come out and help.
And what do you think of these Good Samaritans with chainsaws on the back of their utes that come in and clear trees because SES have got their hands full?
They're fantastic, and as long as they're doing it safely, I'm 100% behind them.
Oh, there you go. Thank you to all you guys that have been out there and helped in the past. Look, we're going to talk about training and teamwork in this next segment. So shift gears and talk about this and the power of community service. So for anyone thinking of volunteering, how do they get started, and does the SES provide on-the-ground training for new recruits?
Yes, absolutely. You'd need to go to the New South Wales SES webpage and follow the click buttons all the way through to volunteering, and you just fill out the form and somebody from our unit will get back to you fairly soon. We have an intake twice a year currently. We've just started a new group, so the next one will be February. And a police check is part of the application process.
Are they looking for any particular skills or abilities in people that do apply?
So within the service, we pride ourselves on the fact that there's a job for everybody. We can usually modify things for people. It might not mean that you're out on the trucks doing the action stuff. Maybe it's more of an indoor job, or there's always jobs that need to be done during the week, like cleaning the trucks, replenishing equipment on the truck, maybe admin work inside, logging where the trucks have been and sending that information interstate. There's always stuff to do.
There's always stuff to do and stuff to learn. So what other training can they give on the spot? You talk about new recruits and training them. How far can you get with a new recruit?
Oh, so a new recruit, it's 6 weeks basic training, and then that covers things like basic communications, the legal obligations, and then you're allowed to go out on the truck. Once you've achieved job ready status, you can then be a go for this, a go for that.
Gopher, yeah. Love being a gopher.
But being a gopher is a really important role. You start to learn where things are, you notice what's happening on that job, and you learn really skills. What you've learned in the classroom becomes a lot more real.
And everyone there is a volunteer, or
Yes.
there are some paid jobs?
Everyone at the units is a volunteer,
Right.
and paid staff are based in the head offices.
Oh, that's right, Rhodes. Was it?
Rhodes is the Metro head office,
Metro.
and then for the state, that's down in Wollongong.
Oh, okay. So emergency response must be a real team effort. How important is teamwork in the SES, and what's your role when out on a call?
Communication is the first thing.
Yeah.
You have to communicate with your team, and you have to be able to trust each other. If you're putting a height safety kit up over a house because you're going onto a roof to tarpaulin it to make sure water doesn't enter into a broken or damaged roof, you want to know that the team around you can trust them, because you are trusting them with your life.
Yeah, that's right. And I learnt something about ladder safety from Ian, who works with you, and obviously tethering a ladder every time you're going up it was very important.
Yeah, look, falling off ladders is one of the leading causes of brain injury in New South Wales.
Wow.
And it's actually something that we teach in a workshop that we run called Women Helping Women. We've got a workshop on Sunday the 27th of July.
Great.
And it will skill women up on those basic skills they need to get through a severe weather event, how to protect their home and their loved ones.
And so how do women get signed up for this course? It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, yes.
Can you just turn up?
Just turn up, 3 Thompson Drive in Terry Hills.
Yes.
Or hop online on our Facebook page, and there's the link there to register. But just turn up. We can always squeeze a few extra in.
Great. So what's the course called?
Women Helping Women. So
Great.
it's women volunteers. We've created a safe space so women can ask any question. We're teaching things like how to use a power drill, how to fix a window that's maybe been smashed due to severe weather or big winds.
Yes.
How to reduce the impact of the water coming into your home.
Yeah.
Sources of truth, how to use a ladder.
Yeah. Very important skills, all of them. And I've been up on ladders. I've had a go at a drill, but
Yeah, and hopefully when you went up that ladder, you had a friend with you holding the bottom.
Yes, I did. So have you seen a change in the number of women joining the SES over the years? Is the landscape becoming more inclusive?
Yes, definitely. My unit, we're now well up into the 40% women.
Wow.
Yep, and we've got some younger women coming through, which is fantastic to see, because they're our leaders of tomorrow.
Yes, so what would you say to young women and girls who are curious about joining but might feel unsure or intimidated?
I'd say give it a go.
Yeah.
It's exciting. You'll learn things that you didn't expect to learn. You'll have opportunities to try all sorts of things, not just out there with a chainsaw. I've had a range of things I've got to do, like coming in and doing a radio interview.
Right, and there you go. You can change hats at a moment's notice.
Absolutely.
Is the SES in Warringah Pittwater currently recruiting, and can people apply throughout the year?
They can apply throughout the year, but the next intake will actually start in February.
Oh, February. Okay, you've got time to prepare, people. You can take these short courses and just get yourself involved on a lesser level.
The short courses actually start as part of the training.
Workshops.
Oh, the workshop?
Yeah,
Women
workshops.
helping women? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, okay. And what's one message you'd love every listener to take away when it comes to emergency preparedness or volunteering?
Can I be greedy and have 2 messages?
Yes, you can.
So the first one would be clean your gutters.
Yes.
And the second one would be, if you come to floodwater, stop, turn around and find another way.
Yeah, there were 2 things that we covered in our interview. So the gutters and do not go through floodwaters. Very good advice. Cars are not made for that, boats are, but still, you never know what you'll find underneath that water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are there any upcoming community workshops? Oh, that's right, open days or events where locals can learn more or get involved. Do you have open days?
We haven't run an open day as such for a few years, and I'm thinking I might do that next year. But the workshop tomorrow for women, that's a great place to start, and I love seeing women getting more skilled. Can I tell you one of the hot tips in there?
Yes.
So the reason that the workshop started was because we had a severe storm about 5 years ago, and I was in the operations room, and we had 3 elderly women who lived alone who were all suffering with water coming through their ceiling.
Wow.
And I wasn't able to get a team to them for nearly 2 days. And they kept saying to me, but I paid a man to go on the roof, and hence the hot tip about getting someone in to take photographs of the guttering and the roof before and after they do the work. Anyway, when we did finally get a crew to them, they'd all followed the advice I'd given them over the phone, which was pierce the sagging ceiling with something sharp, like a knitting needle, but not metal, in case you have wires on the other side of the plasterboard, and let the water drip out into something big like a wheelie bin. Just put a big wheelie bin underneath. It will collect all the water, and it's much cheaper to then dry out and plaster up a tiny hole than it is to have the whole thing collapse and have it all replaced.
Oh my God, yes. And
that led to the workshops for women, because it was three women in 3 different homes who were having the same problem.
Yeah, that's good. Anyone who's ever had a leak in a roof, it is very hard to get a roofer to come to give a free quote, especially. It can take months. So you've got to know these tricks, don't you? Yeah. Look, Jenny, thank you so much for your service, and for everyone in the SES who volunteer, because you are an essential service in my eyes, and for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. So you've given me a real inside look into the SES and what it means to step up for your community. Tell me just one thing. You won an award last year, International Women's Award.
That was for a group I'm part of, which is the women's group, and we wrote the Women Helping Women workshop. Okay. And that was nominated and won.
As an initiative?
As an initiative. It was a group initiative.
Group initiative. That's fantastic work.
It's now... Other units around the state are now rolling out the same workshop, and they've just modified it to make it more suitable for their local area and their local customers.
Very good. And you got nominated again this year for something?
I did, again for innovation. I was a finalist, which was very exciting to get that far.
I think so, because it still spreads the message.
Yes, it does. It does.
Look, so thank you to the SES for, as I said, the wonderful work you do, and just keep your eyes out, have a look at their website. The website number,
NewSouthWalesSES.com.
That's easy. New South Wales, no .gov
or the phone number. The phone number is 132 500.
132 500 is the SES. If it's Ausgrid, what's the Ausgrid phone number was?
The Ausgrid phone number is 13 13 65.
There you go.
And can I just very quickly remind people what we do with the SES?
Yeah, please do.
It's emergency access in and out of your home.
Yes.
And it's also to reduce or prevent property damage. So if there is a branch on the roof, we can remove the branch and then tarp it. Yep. We're not a gardening service.
No, you can't come out before because you think a branch is going to come down. Right, no, so it's got to actually happen.
That's the resident's responsibility to clear overhanging branches, things that might be a threat to the property.
Yeah. Yeah, look, that really clarifies it for everybody, but you do a wonderful job, so thank you very much for your service, as I say. That's the SES in Warringah, Pittwater, and they are local here. We're in Terry Hills, and so are you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so you're in your local areas. And that just finishes up our program today. So Jenny Parks, thank you so much for coming into Radio Northern Beaches.
You're very welcome. It's been fun.
Yeah, so look, for those interested in getting involved or learning more, go to the website of the SES.
New South Wales SES, that's the source of truth for us.
Yes.
It gives you all the current information warnings if there are any issued at that precise moment in time. And it takes you through to a donate button if you wanted to give us the money. And it also takes you through to a volunteering page.
Yes.
And it has heaps and heaps of information on there. Tell you almost anything you need to know about getting ready for flood, storm and tsunami.
In a non-threatening emergency, you can call 132 500. That's 132 500. Put it down in your important phone calls. And obviously anything that is life-threatening, always call
000.
Yeah, 000. Look, you're listening to Radio Northern Beaches. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Australia, the lucky country. We've got meat pies. We've got the world's best beer. But most importantly, top of the list, we've got Radio Northern Beaches 88.7, 90.3. Now hitting the entire world on www.rnb.org.au.